Hey, good Tuesday evening to you. How is everybody doing? I hope you're doing good. It is good to see you, and it is good to be seen by you. Who am I to be good seen by? I'm Bill Sylvie, aka the Dungeon Delver, and I hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic this evening. All I'm going to say about everything that went on this afternoon, which if you watched the video that dropped around 6, is I'm going to stop saying, well, this is the worst possible thing that Wizards of the Coast could do. Because every time I say that, they prove me wrong. Greetings, John Walker. It is good to see you, my friend, and I hope you're doing well. I want to mention something about the Guac. The Great Underground Online Gaming Convention. By the way, this is old merch. This is vintage Guac merch. You can't get these anymore. But Dungeon Minister has cooked up some fantastic looking designs for new merch, which should go on sale really soon. And I'm very excited about that. So if you want to be one of those guys who's like, yeah, I was there at the second Guac. Well, prove it. And you hold up your mug. Like, don't miss out. Don't sleep on this, okay? But something I wanted to mention about the Guac. First of all, if you don't know what the Guac is the Great Underground Online Gaming Convention. It is a virtual con. We are presenting through Discord, but there is a sign-up website on warhorn.net, and I will share that real quick on the screen. I look less dead today, and you think that's awesome. Thank you, Matt. I feel less dead today. Anyway, so yeah, you can check out the con there. I've been wringing my hands thinking that I had done something dumb with the setup. It is by design, not by mistake, that you cannot immediately create yourself as a game master. Sign up, contact me if you want to run a game, and then I have to manually switch you over to being game master, and then you can manage your sessions. That's a feature, not a bug, apparently, in the way that Warhorn handles that sort of thing. Now, I don't know why some convention websites just let you do that. If nothing else, I would think it would let you submit a game as a Game Master Pro Tem, and then I would come through and say, oh, okay, you're running basic Dungeons and Dragons, Keep on the Borderlands, and that you hadn't put, slave pits of the Bethuvian demon prostitutes on it. So if you want to be a game master on Warhorn, sign up and sign up on Warhorn. Follow the link there. Sign up on Warhorn, and then let me know. Follow the link to the Discord, or if you have my contact information, my email, what have you, let me know, and I will make you a game master so you can run a game in one of the slots. What if I want to spectate in the con and don't really want to play? Trace, that's up to individual game masters if they're okay with you sitting in their Discords and watching games. And a question about the Bards of Greyhawk sticker. So the lovely, wonderful acoustic folksy piece that plays in the beginning of every episode, which is titled Summer Mountains, and you really only hear like 31 seconds of it. The entire piece is approaching 3 minutes long, and it is a tour de force of neo-folk acoustic guitar and mandolin, and I cannot recommend it enough that if you haven't heard it, seek ye out on the channel and find where I've played the whole thing and listen to it and enjoy it. Dungeon Minister, we were just talking about you. Are the two designs you sent, is that it? Are we good to go with designs? It's fine if you're working on other stuff. It's fine if they are. But you let me know. But anyway, so the Bards of Greyhawk are an amazing band, and they put out amazing first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons concept music. They have albums, they have sponsored comic books, a whole raft of awesome stuff. And this is just a little tiny bit of their swag that they sent me. And I love it. So that is what that is. Glad to be of service, Danny. Glad to be of service. Okay, then those are the two designs, and I will share those out on social media tonight after the show, so you can get your shirts. You'll be able to say, "Ooh, I want the guacatrice," or "I want the invisible." The knight on the invisible horse. Those are our two designs, the guacatrice and the knight on the invisible horse. And we'll have merch sites. The button next to it, is that from Eric and Heidi? That is from Eric and Heidi. I got that when I played D&D at their house in Lake Geneva. This one is from the Dudragao Dice Company, and of course, you got the Thirst Zapper from Nuka World there that my youngest daughter got me for Christmas, and I love it. I know, I'm excited, Death Angel. I'm very excited about that. By the way, Dungeon Minister, I just said that the merch for Guac 1, this is no longer available, correct? Guac 1 merch is Nicht Gerwehr, which, of course, for all you German speakers, mean it is not Gerwehr. But I think that's the case. I'd hope to make a cartoon, but your skills... Padre, don't... No. Your skills are awesome. Oh, wow. So you can still get old Guac merch. That's awesome. That's awesome. I did not know. Heidi fattened me up while I was there. She sure did. Now, let me tell you what. Heidi Gygax laid out a pretty darn good board of fare. Yes, she did. That is Tonka's invisible horse. Good evening, Lux Armok. Good to see you. So all of this merch is yours, except for Europa. Attempt no landings there. Buy it together. Buy it in peace. So I'm excited about it. I'm hyped for it. Sign up for the Great Underground Online Gaming Convention 2. Play in some amazing games. And for those of you who are wondering, well, Bill, are you going to run anything? Yes, I am. I just haven't decided when. I don't want to stomp all over people who are going to be running games. Look, we have prizes being donated for games. We have cash prizes in a D&D tournament. Our friends, our sponsors, their friends and their sponsors from Hellabard Games, who bring us this live stream, by the way. Hellabard Games makes the kind of adventures that they'd like to play, whether it's for Councils and Crusades, 5th edition, or OSR, old school is in play at the table. You can find them on their website at hellabardgames.com or on DriveThruRPG. And right now, they've got a sale on all their in-print 5th edition products. They've got a mysterious swamp full of lizard men, a dusty caravan trail with adventure locales all over it. And if you use the code 5EOOP at checkout, you will get 50% off. That's buy one, get one for those of you out there paying attention on in-print 5th edition products. And they convert pretty easily over to AD&D or whatever your favorite system is. So don't be shy. Fill up your shopping cart and get some fun discounted stuff. But Hellabard Games will be doing some stuff at the Guac. Guys, it's gonna be so much fun. Don't miss out. Okay? And it is from June 22nd to June 25th. That's Thursday through Sunday. And now look, reactions to what has been going on are largely what's driven it, but I don't want to downplay it. Guys, we're at 45, 30 subs on the channel now. If by chance we should reach 5,000 subscriptions by the end of the convention, if it's in the middle of the last game being played on Sunday afternoon, or if it happens Thursday morning or anytime before then, if we hit 5,000 subs, I will initiate a raffle with 2 prizes. And this is not first prize, second prize. This is prize A and prize B. Do not think that like, oh, well, somebody's going to get a lemon prize and somebody's going to get a great prize. The first prize is a bespoke single volume bound edition of original Dungeons and Dragons. Men and Magic, Monsters and Treasures, The Underworld and Wilderness Adventure, Supplement 1 Greyhawk, Supplement 2 Blackmoor, Supplement 3 Eldritch Wizardry, and Supplement 4 Gods, Demigods, and Heroes, bound in a single volume. That's a bespoke one-off printing. You won't find it anywhere else. You might say, oh, well, I've got my AD&D books. Have you got them in a single volume, a single handy volume? You don't. And on the other tip, the other prize is a premium color set of print-on-demand Dungeon Master's Guide, Monster Manual, and Player's Handbook for AD&D. People say, do you like all Dungeons and Dragons? We play both kind, original and advanced. So you don't want to miss that. You don't want to miss out on that, guys. So tell your friends, tell your enemies. I don't care. Get them in here. Click that subscribe button. Click that bell icon for notifications. And as always, leave us a comment down below and say, I love what you're doing. Do more of that. I hate what you're doing. Don't do more of that. But as the bald French captain once said, engage. So I hope you will all consider doing that. Rich S says, if you win, I will also give you a free tattoo, first edition. That's between you guys and Rich. You'll have to take it up with him. He's not here. He does not speak for. He does not speak for the Great Underground Online Gaming Convention. A free Hervé Villachez. Yes, Robert, exactly. Deplane, boss, deplane. Well, thank you, Danny H. Good raid going on with you. I hope you have a good raid. However, before we play first edition AD&D tonight, which we're going to do at the top of the hour at 9 o'clock, guess what? We started last week. We dug into Dark Tower, and we're going to keep digging. We're going to keep looking at it because, gosh, it's interesting. And I suppose it's interesting. Kirk's my captain too, by the way, John Walker. Spock, he's got a ray gun. Scotty, beam me down. I'll be Danny Crane. No, the tiny dragons and dolphins and waves and seashells on your ankle and stuff. Yeah, that was a Gen Xer when we were in college thing. When you reach our age, the only tattoos we get are where the radiation machine needs to center for our radiation treatment. But anyway, I kid. So let us continue our deep dive into Dark Tower. We had looked at we started looking at the village of Mitra's Fists, which is not all it appears to be. So let's jump into that again here. And I gotta add stuff to screen. Come on. So, and I will move the Warhorn announcement there. Village of Mitra's Fist, a.k.a. Mitra's Curse. V1, hovel of the old intercontinental missile. No. The V1 was a cruise missile anyway, not an ICBM. The V2 was the ICBM. How many subs till commemorative BOGO jorts? That's 1 million subs. That's 1 million subs, Damien. So if you want those, keep working on them. Hovel of Old Cornelius. Cornelius is the prefect of the Shrine of Mitra. A stone's throw from his hovel, Cornelius is a level 5 cleric. Alignment lawful good. No armor. And then there's his crit stats and some spells he has memorized. He's 67 years old. He's lonely and a little senile. I feel you, Cornelius. I really do. His superiors in the church assigned him to this post 20 years previous as a sort of punishment. He is all but forgotten by any of them who are still alive. He suspects that something funny is going on in the village, but his failing wits and the fact that the villagers keep him properly befuddled by attending services regularly in the shrine tends to keep him from pursuing the matter as long as he's left alone to tend his straggly vegetable garden and polish the wood and marble in the shrine. He takes very little interest in the affairs of the village. The villagers in turn keep Cornelius around as a sort of joke to mock the ineffectuality of Mitra. However, they do keep a watch on the old man by sending up an occasional villager to act as a temporary acolyte. Or is it acolyte? And do they ever get fungus between their toes? You know, acolyte's foot. Cornelius, befuddled as he is, does know the following. There have been mysterious disappearances of visitors in the village. There is a secret entrance into the tunnel below the village under the front 2 pews. There's a period there. That's not just me being weird. Under the front 2 pews of the shrine. Only he knows of this entrance. He is vaguely aware that no one has aged in the 20 years he has lived there, and that there have been no reported births. The old man possesses an artifact. Mitra's favor. See artifacts. If he is made to understood that a group of adventurers is going down into the tunnels, he will give the ring to either a paladin, lawful good cleric, a chaotic good cleric, or a good character of any sort in that order of preference. Or to any character who convinced Cornelius that he is a very lawful good person, whether he is or not. The game master's discretion will be needed here. If none in the party are good or can convince the old man that they are, he will keep the ring. V2, Shrine of Mitra's Tower. This is a moderately old, not ancient, white marble shrine devoted to the god Mitra and celebrating the tower that once stood, still stands on the spot where it is located. Inside, a large white marble statue of Mitra dominates the circular domed chapel. It depicts Mitra as a well-formed Adonis-like youth crushing the head of a serpent. A secret trapdoor can be found if the first two pews are moved away. The door is rigged with a trap. It will open as a normal dungeon door. However, if it is not open on the first try, a small catch is triggered. A second try will bring down a rain of bricks and large rocks from the ceiling, which are cleverly concealed as ornamentation that will do 3 to 30 points of damage to any characters in a 10-foot radius. Cornelius set this up long ago, but he has since forgotten about it. Yikes. And it mentions there are 4 village acolytes. They are really acolytes of Set, the gleam in the eye of Set. You guys have been waiting all weekend to hear that, haven't you? The old man's not aware of that. They'll attempt to prevent any speech between outsiders and their venerated mentor. And then, they've got kind of minimal stats. Grain Merchants Emporium. I think I got a floor jack at Grain Merchants Emporium. Or no, that was Tractor Supply. The shop, which does no business, is run by Hastor. Hastor? No, Hastor! With an O. Not the other one, not with a U. Why does it bother you if I say Hastor? Stop saying that! 4th level cleric of Set. He's chaotic evil. He's a dry, stick-like man in his late 40s. He has a mace. He's slightly insane and talks about the great business deal he carries on in his little shop as if all the grain trade in the world came through his doors. Yeah, well, if this was a Discord channel, I did this over, they've got a soundboard, I could do that. I'm not arguing with myself, Death Angels. There's a smithy run by Ullum Hairy Arms. He's got 2 average lawful evil men. Prices will be 20% lower than those listed in the player's handbook. And here's the village, a map. We finally have a map to look at. Did you guys know that somebody bumped Set while he was brushing his teeth? That's why there's gleam in the eye of Set. I didn't know that, Nadine. That's fascinating. Anyway, so yes, there's various locales. The manor house of Avacarus. This is the home of the town's leading citizen, Avacarus the merchant baron, and a high priest of the god of Sit. Portly man of sour disposition, see illustrations. Under his rich robes, he wears a suit of chainmail. How can he be portly then? He's carrying around like 30 pounds of armor with him. Tenth level cleric of Sit. He's got a bodyguard. There he is. Avacarus the merchant. Oh, not much illustration there. Fat guy in a chainmail suit. Fat guy in a chainmail vest, rather. 30 pounds of armor and 70 pounds of fat. And it looks like about 5 pounds of hat. Okay, why does it just keep snapping like that? Let's see. His manor is surrounded by a 20-foot stone wall, 3 feet thick. The grounds offer no cover and are lit at night by lanterns placed every 10 feet along the interior wall. They're guarded by a patrol of 3 men. There are 4 patrols. Only 1 is on duty. The other 3 will be off duty. Well, yeah, that's not on duty equals off duty. There, Jacques, you master of the written word, you. 1 full patrol of men will always be off duty at Overlord's Inn. If Patrol 2 is on duty, then Patrol 1 will be at the inn, and so on. And then they are statted out. They have guard dogs. The front doors are locked. There's a candelabrum. There's a gem-encrusted tome with a word and law of Mitra worth 2,000 gold. The tome was one of the original relics of the shrine. Also in this northernmost room is a secret trap door in the floor that leads to room I-18. Upstairs at the top of the stairs is a trap that will spring on a d6 roll of 1 to floor. A door in the floor will open up and deposit the victims 25 feet down onto a refuse pile and do 1 to 8 points of damage. They will end up facing an ochre jelly. I've made it an Otyug myself, but that's just me. Maybe an Otyug would have been a little too tough. What are they? They're like 8 hit dice, 9 hit dice. Neo Otyug is even worse. And if you're not sure what an Otyug is, let's say, I don't know, you play basic D&D, you're not really up on the really cool monsters. Otyugs and Neo-Otyugs are monsters that live and eat garbage. And that's the polite way to express it. In a Vagarous bedchamber, there's a chest hidden under the bed that contains 1,000 silver, 10 platinum, and 449 gold. There are various documents of no importance that bear wax seals with the impression of a Vagarous signet ring upon them. If he's home, there's a 50% chance he'll be in the bedroom. There's a 40% chance he'll be making love with some woman. If Skill Vashara has not already been discovered dead in room I-5, then it will be her. Lovely. She's neutral. She's a very beautiful dark-haired woman who is a Vagarous' latest concubine. She will be here 100% of the time unless noted above. However, she may only be encountered once. After that, she'll definitely be found in room I-5. Under the pillow, she has hidden a dagger with a 4d8 poison. 4 to 32 points of damage, that dagger. A Vagarous trade monopoly. The only general merchant supply house in the pass for miles around. It's stocked by the occasional caravans that come through and is rarely depleted of merchandise. Prices are 30 to 40% less than those given in the AD&D Player's Handbook, which that doesn't make any sense. I would charge more. Lower would mean more people would come, which means more people would disappear, which means more questions will be asked. It's run by a Vagarous son, Aphris, a 5th level gleam in the eye of Sit. He's chaotic evil, has reptilian skin. A young man with a deformed reptilian Sit to his face. He wears long-sleeved gloves since his body is scaly. Rumors is that Aphris is a result of a union between a Vagarous late wife and a minion of Sit. To bear this out, Aphris can shape change into a giant poisonous snake. The only inn, the Overlord's Inn, Provisions are twice as expensive as they are listed in the rules. Unless you're a resident, then they are half. A night's lodging will run 2 gold, not including meals and drinks or putting up and feeding animals. Any drink served to a player here will contain a powerful sleep drug that will add 4 to the saving throw versus poison. Well, does that mean they get a +4 on their save versus poison? Or like if they need a 10, it becomes a 14. It's a little unclear there. Effects take place in 2 to 3 hours or after character normally goes to sleep. That character will be unwakeable for 7 to 12 hours. 1d6 plus 6. 7 to 10 brigands in the common room. And let's see, Melkor Stone Teeth. I mean, with a name like Melkor, he can't be a bad guy. Oh, wait, yes, he can. You think it's a -4? I think it's a -4 too, John. Anyways, a 5th level lawful evil fighter. He's big. He has gray petrified teeth that he claims result from being turned into stone once by a cockatrice. A guacatrice. Says his teeth didn't revert back to their former state. He is talkative unless an adventurer asks nosy questions about the village or its inhabitants. He will then clam up for the rest of the time the questioner is present. Beldar the Sodden. One-time powerful magic user. He's neutral. He resisted the power that took everybody else. He pretended to go along with him, but he found that the life-prolonging effects affected him also, so that when he tried to leave the area of the village, he began to age swiftly. Rather than keep up the pretense of being evil and not liking the idea of dying, he's kept himself nicely drunk for the last 2.5 centuries. That's some Beldar stone liver. He's one of Melkor's best customers. If sobered up, he'll tell of the tunnels beneath the village and a dark tower and the buried village below. Paid phenomenally well and promised protection, he may even accompany adventurers. He has no magic items or spells, having long since pawned all these for drink. If another mage has his spellbook available, Beldar may operate as a 5th level magic user. His knowledge of all the non-secret passages on the first 2 levels, as they were 250 years ago, there's a 40% chance that any given place will have changed enough to be unfamiliar or forgotten. It will take a percentage roll of 75% plus for him to regain his bearings. Rufo the Ugly. Isn't that an actor, Chris Rufo? Anyway. He's a chaotic good thief, which don't work, by the way. Have to make him neutral good at best. He's one of 3 persons in the village not affected by the power of Sit. Beldar and Cornelius are the other 2. He's Melkor's servant and usually ends up doing all the dirty jobs in the village. For that reason, he knows most of the secret entrances to the dungeon. He knows of the traps in Avakar's stairway. The more powerful villagers do not consider him as a threat and appreciate not having to take care of the tasks he does. While he's not bright, he's not stupid. He's been down to the tunnels because of his abilities as a thief. Considers pickpocketing abilities to be that of a 1st level thief. He's also completely illiterate. Int 8. No, Int 8 is low average, right? Rufo will try to help adventurers any way he can, but he must be forced into the crypts, temples, or Dark Tower. I can't blame him. And for those playing along at home, we're about a third of the way through this. And here is the Dark Tower itself. There's a 70% chance that players will encounter the succubus Militia. I like those odds. I do. She will be sitting in a dark corner of the commons room in the guise of a beautiful woman of loose morals. She will charm various members of the adventurers and use suggestion to lure her victims to an upstairs room by arrangement with Evacarus and Sit. She may sample a level or two from any of her victims, but she must turn at least 50% of them over to the Temple of Set for sacrifice. Once in the succubus embrace, a hit against armor class 10 usually, the victim must roll an 18 or 20 on a d20 to break it. If strength is less than average, only on 19 to 20. If less than 7, only on a 20. This assumes, of course, the victim is uncharmed and wants to break free, or they're Freddie Mercury. If threatened, the succubus will come ethereal, and if harmed physically, she will gate in demons, with all the standard stuff that can happen there. And here is the Dark Tower. Its various levels, which are lettered, not numbered, because we have numbered rooms for each encounter. The Tower of Sit and the Tower of Mitra. She's able to sense when her lair has been invaded. Girls always know when you go in their room and go through their stuff. They just do. So I'm told. She will return there immediately via ethereal travel. Let's see. Further note about the end, if any nosy questions are asked of the local, those persons will clam up and not speak about anything of interest to the adventurers, even going so far as to ignore any strangers in the room. Locals will try and prevent conversation with Beldar and Rufo. And then there's some stuff in the cash box. Do I keep doing that, Metatron? Am I making you spill it? There's a wine merchant. It's used as a storage shed. 100 suits of clothing from various nations and time period over the last 300 years. 50 swords of varying types. 20 suits of chainmail. 2 suits of plate mail. You know, is there anything special about it? No, it's plain mail armor. 30 shields and numerous boots, belts, packs, saddles, etc. Tailor shop. Empty except for a pile of rags that Rufo, CV7, sleeps on. The Constabulatory. Local Emporium of Justice. Run by Mirth, the sheriff. Well, at least he's got a sense of humor about things. Has 2 magic rings, one of spell turning and the other that hastes per the spell of the same name while in melee. He's assisted by 6 5th level fighters that will always be found with at least 2 of them. Henchman of Mirth, Hanan Hellraiser, Gerstad the Grim, Bolt of the North Marches, Scarvoni the Dark, Han Philo, Vogrim Bear Sarks. I love these names. I absolutely adore these names. They're all chaotic evil fighters. Bolt of the North Marches. I mean, it's just, is that his name? Is that what he does? You know, it's good stuff. Let's see. 7 heavy war horses are stabled there. The Tower. 50-foot tall, gray, stony edifice. Originally built to protect the developing village of Mitra's Fist, it is rarely used and now harbors a band of 6 giant rats. You dirty rat, you're the dirty rat that shot my brother. Abode of the brigands. There's a band of brigands described under the village of Mitra's Fish, brigands and waylayers in the night. The manor guard's woman. In Chana, an aging prostitute resides here, servicing the manor guards and cooking their meals. She appears to be about 35. Level 0, chaotic evil, 10 hit points. I don't know. 300 years, you think she'd pick up just like 1 level of fighter or something like that? Slab bulkhead, chuck beefsteak, rock brick slam, rod hard huge. I'm going to get demonetized. Have your super chats ready, boys and girls. Let's see. Patrols 1 and 2 bunk here. Usually at least one patrol will be in here. Barracks contain 8 cots, 8 storage chests containing personal belongings of guards, table chairs, fireplace, and a deck of cards. Manor patrol barracks. And I'm guessing that's probably, let's see, who. I'm going to say that's Vorgrim Bear Sarks and Han Philo in this picture. Vorgrim Bear Sarks and Han Philo. Of course, room for notes. Dark Tower Dungeon Level 1. Finally, we're into a dungeon, and that is a glorious little map. I love that map. Only one deck of cards and no dice sets. I know, right? So we have caves. We have hallways. We have tunnels. So on level 1. Now, one thing I can tell you guys, I'm not going to hop between descriptions and map back and forth and back and forth. It's easy to do here, easy-ish to do here, to then try and find a location. But the problem is finding that location. And then when we get to like, you know, here, okay, I got to scroll all the way back. So we'll take a look at the map. We'll note a few things. And then we can come back and say, oh, yeah, that was that weird looking part. Thank you for the super, Ricky. I appreciate it, bud. Entry to Mitra's tower. There's no door. The invisible door is guarded by the immortal paladin in a curse, the paladin's lawful good. It is Holomir's sacred duty to guard this post. He is immortal, that is to say, he has a... Here's some money for the swear jar. Thank you. He has a magical mechanical gold heart that acts as a ring of troll regeneration, continuous potion of longevity, and a potion of fire resistance. He's 525 years old. He wears +2 plate mail of archaic design, and his +1 shield bears the Lion of Mitra upon it. Joined with the shield of Holomir Goldheart is the spirit of the Lion of Mitra, Morton the Best. Hey, Morton! He was Holomir's brother and was killed 300 years previous. If his brother's life is threatened, Morton will make all his attacks at +2. See the Lions of Mitra for further information. If Holomir Goldheart is severely threatened and outnumbered, he can summon the aid of 1 to 10 Lions of Mitra and 3 to 30 gnomish warriors. The gnomes are barracked in the White Tower, can hear any call the paladin might make. The gnomes wear ring mail and shield for AC 6. They have 1 hit dice, roll hit points as necessary. Weapons, short sword and short bow, AC 7 while using the bow. His sword is a holy sword +5 with an IQ of 5. It will function anywhere while in the paladin's hands, but if forcefully taken from him, the user must make a saving throw against magic or be rooted to the spot until he willingly gives the sword back. If the saving throw is made, the sword will function properly within a 100-foot radius of the tower. If taken beyond this point, it becomes a -2 curse sword until it is released by a Patriarch of Mitra or returned to the paladin. If the sword is used against good creatures, the damage done will be doubled back against the sword bearer. So if 9 hit points of damage is given, the sword wielder will also take 18. This is probably why the people of Mitra's Fist leave this guy the hell alone. Hey, he's miserable. We don't want to go in there anyway. Just let him be. Evil does not equal dumb. Anyone ever have a character dumber than a sword? I haven't yet. The curse on the door is such that if the door is passed through, each player will feel as if some forces touch them gently on the chest. A magic mouth speaks. Where ye pilgrim, ye have been touched by the hand of Mitra. Cause no evil in this his shrine, else ye shall die most horribly. If any act of evil is perpetrated in the tower, the evildoer will be struck down with smallpox per the cause disease spell. Effects will begin in 1 to 6 turns, with the smallpox spreading out to form a super infected area in the shape of a human hand with spread fingers. Survivors will bear a hand-shaped mass of scar tissue on their chest. The shaft from the temple above ends almost directly above the area in front of the door. The south door is wizard locked from the south side. It will let persons out but not in. It is a Dungeon Roach Motel. The room is lit by continual light. There's ghouls. There's a ghoul lair. They don't really have anything of note. The ghouls will wait to attack. Now, here's what I'm curious about. How did the ghouls get in here past the entrance? How did anything get in here past the entrance with the paladin right there? Is he just like waving people in? Anyway, so the ghouls have a lair. There's about 7,000 copper on the floor spilling out of an overturned chest. A life-size silver statue of Mitra that weighs 300 pounds holds a scroll tube in one of his hands. The statue has a permanent protection from evil spell on it. The scroll contains a map of the location of the cells where sacrificial victims are held. Level 2, room 21. Since some changes have been made since the map was made, there's a 40% chance it will not show the location of a secret door and a 50% chance it will reveal the presence of a trap. It's dated 150 years ago and bears the signature Radleb, Beldar backwards. Also in the case are 3 invisible 100 gold piece garnets, 1 invisible 10 gold piece agate, and 1 invisible 100 gold piece topaz. It's an odd thing to waste an invisibility spell on, but hey. A humanoid figure struggles in the web. There's a giant spider in the next room. It's a web-building metallic spider. A creature of apparently living steel. It fills its web with the room, and touching it will cause entrapment. The huge metallic spider, that's only got 2+2 hit dice, but anyway, human figure struggles in the web. If Rufo is not with the party, it will be him. Otherwise, it will be a member of the caravan that disappeared the night before. Vastavar Spear Tongue. He's a braggart dervish mercenary. I guess that's hence the spear tongue. He can set up a crossbow trap in 1 turn that will go off on a d6 roll of 1 to 3. He is currently nude. Scattered amongst the withered web bundles on the floor are a 10 gold piece agate, 100 gold piece spinel, citrine, 12 copper, and 4 platinum. It'll take 2 full turns to cut away enough web to search, and 5 turns minus 1 turn for every 2 searchers to find all the treasure. I'm not going to repeat that, Luther, but that was funny. Rat tunnels. There's a 20% chance that the rat tunnels will be led by Sinistar the Sly. Beware, I live. I hunger. Because of many years of practice, Sinistar remains all of his thieving abilities, even while in rat form, convenient. Kobolds, corpses, and communications. I took that class when I was at university. They're armed with short swords. They're squabbling over what appears to be a half-eaten female corpse. Rufo Beldar, any caravan member, can identify it as Skilk Vashara, the latest concubine of Avacaris. She has apparently had her heart removed and looks a little gnawed on. The northeast wall of the room is part of the White Tower. Written on it in dried blood is "Beware of hidden symbols in lawful good tongue." So somebody cut her heart out, but she still had just enough strength left. No. Or a lawful good person was like, I need to warn people about this. Dip. Significant skeleton. And who is this? This is my significant skeleton. The north exit has the rotted remains of a wooden door, blocking it. A human skeleton, the dead kind. I don't make these modules up, guys. I just read them. Is crumpled just outside the room in the north corridor. It is wearing rotted, rich clothing. Has a small signet ring worth 50 gold that a bard or merchant may identify as that of the merchant house of Crone, a wealthy merchant who disappeared while on caravan, reporting after discovering a sword of great power. Interesting. Chains and bones. Look, guys, just... I knew a guy when I was in college back in the 90s. He was part of the Chains and Bones Society. Set with rusted chains and shackles, a few skeletal arms still, I think they're supposed to be lie in one or two. They will rattle if passed. Mana mist. This is interesting. The floor is covered by 2 feet of mist. There's a 60% chance that the mist will form into a man shape that will gesture to room 9, then walk into that chamber, point at the lizard nest, and finally walk through the nest and seemingly disappear into the wall. A melee round later, the mist will come pouring out of the nest and flow back into the chamber south. This, of course, will irritate the lizards and allow for no surprise against them. And then there's 2 giant lizards. There's a silver dagger, a rotted but rich-looking shield, rusty scale armor, and a pitted sword in the giant lizards. There are 10 eggs in the nest. In 1 to 2 days, they will hatch. One will hatch a basilisk. So you want to break all those up. Someone is really messaging me a lot right now on Discord. I'm in the middle of the show. I don't have time to answer you, so I'll have to get back to you. Rat proving ground. Do these rats work? Well, I don't know. Let's take them to the rat proving ground. I love what you've done with their claws. A much chewed and battered mannequin of burlap and reeds dangles from a rope. It is a training dummy for Sinistar's army of rats. 10 giant rats. Well, there you go. A rat lair, 400 silver in a rusted iron box, 10 hit points of damage to bust it open, 250 gold piece fluorites and 100 gold pieces zircon are in a secret bottom of the box. Again, the rats will squeal as per room 11 above. And we'll look at one more and then we'll go ahead and wrap up for this part of our reading and then get ready to play some AD&D. Giant habitat. 5 rats and small piles following. 100 copper pieces, a belt with a snakehead clasp studded with an amethyst, a fine silver change, bronze figurine of a griffin, a pendant of brass, an unknown alloy. Rats will squeal as an 11 above. The right-hand tunnel leading out of this lair surfaces in a stable behind the trade monopoly. The left tunnel leads to the second level, 30 feet east of the west end of the corridor, north of the White Tower. So we'll leave off there at page 32. We're almost halfway through this bad boy, guys. So we've got a lot more of this module to go. Got a lot more of this module to go. So I'm going to make sure I'm not missing any messages from anyone. all kidding aside. So tomorrow night, just some announcements before we get into it. I believe, I could be wrong about this. I'll have to reach out and make sure. But tomorrow night, co-host Kyle will be back with us. I'm looking forward to that. I hope you guys are. Also, Thursday night, guess what? Thursday night, Paul Storberg will be here. So I want everyone on their best behavior. I don't want anyone misbehaving. Friday night, we will be back with more Dark Tower deep dive, but also we'll be playing some Gamma World at 9:00. And much as we play AD&D, of course, it'll be for everyone's entertainment, and I hope you'll be here to enjoy that. So that's all coming up. And as always, guys, if you have any questions about sign up, some people have asked me, if they can be in certain games, just go to the sign up sheet and just sign up for a game. If it looks like it's full, PM the GM and say, hey, can I know you said you've got 8 spots. Can I please get into that? Can I please still get into that? And I would be willing to bet that they would say yes. I would be willing to bet that they would say yes and let you in. 4077 new and improved. Maybe. We'll have to see. Luther asks if Errol Otis is incoming. Yes. On May the 18th at 7:00. Normally we start at 8, but we'll be starting at 7. At 7:00 on May the 18th, Errol Otis, D&D legendary Dungeons and Dragons artist Errol Otis will be here, and I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really, really looking forward to Errol being here. So you don't want to miss that. You do not want to miss that. And that is on the 18th at 7 p.m. I'm excited about it. I hope you guys are excited about it too. So, also, and again, I mentioned this last night, I don't have any dates hammered down just yet, but Diesel LaForce and the artist Darlene are also both scheduled in, very lightly penciled in for some time in May. I'm going to be reaching out to them in the next few days and find out what days are going to work best for them. So I hope you guys are as excited about that as I am. So just kind of looking things over here before we get started. Before we do get rolling on the AD&D game, does anyone have any questions? Anything specific that I can answer? Any comments, criticisms, negative, nasty remarks? We have a couple of people waiting in the back room. Mark will not be with us tonight. He was not feeling well, so we hope he gets to feeling better and will join us then. But I am all ears, which makes for really weird physiology, I do have to say. But you guys can just fire away. Any questions before we get going? Where is Vile? I don't know. He's been super busy. Let me tell you something. When you're young and spring and summer roll around, particularly if you're in high school, as he is, things get busy. It's an exciting time of year. You can taste the 90 days of freedom you have coming before autumn rolls back in and brings its dismal grayness. It's hot, sticky afternoons that turn into clammy, cold nights. You've got 90 blissful days of summer to relax and enjoy. The time when a young man and a young woman's mind turns to other concerns than sitting in a basement and talking to webcam. So I completely understand if he is busy, but if you are not subscribed, please go to his channel and subscribe. Go to Dungeon Minister's channel and subscribe. Go to RPG Grandma's channel and subscribe. Give all of them all the love. He's chasing two-legged deer. It could be. It's going to be a little bit before I add games to the con that I am going to be DMing. I want everybody who's going to be who wants to set up their games. I want them to get in first, okay? Because I don't want to be like, oh, I'm going to be running my games on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights at these spots, and the people who had wanted to run games just be like, oh, yes, I won't bother, because people are going to play in bills. I may do stuff in earlier times. I may do more of kind of a laid back thing. I did I did board games. We played Dungeon. We played Hero Quest. I may do a Space Hulk demo. Because you guys, did you really get enough of me? Don't you? Of playing RPGs 2-3 nights a week on the show. Hearing me talk about them. I think you guys have got enough D&D out of old Bill. I'll do some other stuff. I don't know, Metatron. I don't know. But whatever he's doing, I hope he's enjoying it. Unregistered Hypercam says, if I'm already subscribed, do I unsub so I can resub? It doesn't help. When you unsubscribe, the number goes down, and when you subscribe, like let's say I had 5 subscribers and you were one of them. If you leave, it doesn't leave me at 5, and then you resubscribe and it's like, oh, he has 6. No, it drops me down to 4, and then you resubscribe and it's like, oh, you got 5 again. Congratulations. Believe me, I've tried. It doesn't work that way. I have tried. So we'll just wait another couple of minutes before we get started here. We're currently waiting on Doomsword to step in the back room. I mean, yeah, you guys could definitely do that. I mean, if you think it'll help to have multiple subscriptions to my channel, by all means do it. Only if you think it'll help. I'm not encouraging you to try and game the system. I promise. So let me just, I'm going to ping him. We're going to wait another couple of minutes, and then we're going to get rolling. Doomsword says 3 minutes, so he's got 1 minute. He's got 1 minute. He said that 3 minutes. He said that 2 minutes ago. One thing I've been kicking around is just kind of eking out the time and just every once in a while just say, well, tonight instead of X, I'm going to paint. Because I have all of this and you can't see it, but I have paints down here. I haven't done a painting stream in forever, and I don't like doing stuff on the weekends. So I may just do a painting stream one of these nights. Like on a Monday night, I'll start at 6 instead of 8 or 7 instead of 8, and it'll just be me painting and chatting with you guys for a little while. Hey, there's Doomsword, just entered the green room, so we're gonna get rolling here on playing some AD&D. So let us please, without further ado, welcome our friends back from his tour of Scandinavia, India, and the subcontinent. Say hello to Baron Von Headbanger as Cork.
Howdy. Good to be back.
Representing the scholarly tip, we have TK as Sir Outlier.
Skull.
Finally, with an avatar, because I threatened to give him one. Say hello to Mobius as Cecil.
Hey, how's it going?
And I'm loving that avatar, man.
What is your avatar?
It's the box for the basic set.
It's the Spirit
Expert set.
D&D box. And of course, the man plan. Say hello to Turgo, played by Doomsword Deathmaster. Good evening.
What's up?
Yeah, Mark's not here, so I guess Turgo's in charge.
That is correct. Mark,
Over my dead body.
I think it's about time for the paladin to take charge.
Oh God, no! Over your dead body.
I forgot how to play.
You just roll some dice. You don't got to keep track of no treasure or nothing like that. Just roll.
Oh, so like I've been doing?
Yeah. So I'm not sure what's worse, having a thief in charge or having a paladin in charge. Both are terrible. Let's do neither. Let's put the ranger in charge.
your mileage may vary. So, when last we left you guys, you had returned to the city of Greyhawk. You had turned in some treasure. Characters had leveled, and you went back to Castle Greyhawk, and then you ran into some very, very spicy light bulbs.
Things went horribly wrong.
And then we went back to Castle Greyhawk, and we handed over our dead monk to the priesthood.
That is correct, and he will be interred with honor. So, having disposed of his last wishes there, you guys are in the city of Greyhawk. What do you wish to do now?
Our party funds are pretty high. Has anybody been able to level but not afford it?
Not I.
No,
I got a little ways to go.
I just got to a 4th or whatever a while back. I'm just saving up for that dang armor. I got to get out of Hawk now.
Speaking of which, how much do you owe?
I haven't paid any on it yet.
Okay,
I was
so
gonna do a down payment last time, but I got in late and Giants happened and all that. So
same question. How much do you owe?
I don't know. I wrote it down. This might take a half hour or so.
If memory, did I write down how much I paid for mine? Because it was the same.
Yeah, it was the same. It was a +3.
Well, chance thereof, but we'll see.
Yeah.
It was a few grand. Bill, do you remember?
I certainly do not.
Great. Anyway, point being was I just noticed we had a fair bit in party fund here, so why don't we, I don't know, what do you think, Turgo? Why don't we use some of that and our recently dead comrades funding to get the paladin in some better armor so he doesn't go the same way the monk did?
That's fine by me.
I think the way I have it figured, I got about $3,000 after I leveled and all that.
And we've got about $8,000 in storage, so you know. So
Yeah, some various gems and jewels as well.
Yep. So why don't we go see about your armor first while we're here, and besides that way, if the ranger sticks around with us, he might see that this is what we do to our group members if they live longer than 2 weeks.
Yeah, that would be great. The
Which
last
hopefully
month didn't last that long.
Yeah, hopefully this is an incentive to live more than 2 weeks. Yes, in our company we pay you to live. All right. I'll follow you, Paladin.
Okay.
Turgo, you coming, or do you want to just, hang out in the bar and make funny faces?
And we're gonna skip past those bright shiny lights this time, right?
Oh no, we're still in the city.
Yeah, I know, but on the way back, we're gonna skip that part.
Oh yeah, no, no. This is a child-friendly show. We're often have words for that.
I think I'll stay and poke around.
Well, we just try and skirt the demonetization demons. Well, as you guys are walking, there is a merchant selling all kinds of wares from a cart. He beckons you over. Do you go over to him?
Nobody beckons me.
I'll still ask him for a new pair of boots.
Okay. He sizes you up and says, if you could remove your shoes, sir.
Are you sure you want me to do that?
He fishes around in the cart and produces a foot measuring caliper that is on a handle that is about 3 feet long itself.
Good. These boots have touched sewage. I need a new set.
Okay. He happens to have what kind of boots do you want? Do you want low soft, high hard, low hard?
I would prefer a pair of low hard boots, hobnail, please.
All right. So he just happens to have what you are looking for. Boots, low, hard. That will set you back a gold piece.
That's fine. I'll give him 2 if he burns the old pair.
I'll give him another one if he does.
He will gladly accept your outpouring of gold and promises to burn them in a burn pit outside the city walls. Even
most appreciated. Now I'm one step closer to not smelling like sewage. All I have to do is replace my entire armor and peel all my skin off. The smell never goes away.
Sewage. When were you down there? Glad I missed
we killed a revenant, I think. And Outlier. There are 2 things in this world he doesn't like. One of which is raw sewage.
Glad I missed that expedition.
Yeah, it wasn't fun.
okay. So you have your boots. Does anybody else wish to purchase anything? Damien says, Jorge brings up a good point. At what class level is it likely to receive a product endorsement? You don't have any sponsors. Sorry, you guys get sponsors when I get sponsors. Although technically, the guys over at Hellabard sponsor me. So keep your eyes peeled, adventurers.
Technically, I sponsored you. You get a whole $2.
Well, I meant ongoing monthly, but I mean that super chats notwithstanding, I should say regular advertisers.
What do patrons get? They're your sponsors.
I am working on patrons right now. I have lagged behind, and there are some good stuff coming for patrons. Fear not. So, boots bought. Anything else? Anyone wish to purchase? This guy seems to be a rolling prevender of common goods. He doesn't have weapons or armor or anything like that. But if you're or livestock, but if you're looking for miscellaneous equipment, small provisions, that sort of thing, he's got it.
He wouldn't happen to have a rubber ball about the size of my fist, would he?
No, he does not.
I think I'm good. I peruse his wares, but I don't think I need anything. I haven't really used anything.
There goes my usual. Hey, Turgo, do you have a pry bar?
I do not.
Can I get a pry bar off him?
Sure. 5 copper pieces for an iron pry bar about yay long.
That's fine. I just needed one in the past.
We have
all right.
pythons and a hammer and all that stuff.
Mostly, yeah, and iron, and usually iron spikes and that
Right.
and that kind of thing. I don't usually bother with a hammer. I just use somebody's head.
Yeah, I've got a rope and a grapple hook and stuff like that as well. Some cow trips, whatever.
The only thing we haven't had that we've needed in the past is a crowbar. Well, that and maybe a pick, but we have that in the cart.
All right.
Shall we go?
Tally ho.
All right.
Okay. You continue on, and where you guys are heading where?
To where my armor is. The guy that made it. Or is making it, or whatever.
Oh, I thought you were already at the enchanting stage.
Are we?
You'd had it made. I know that.
Yeah, I think he did all that. Yeah. Well, maybe he did. I don't know.
You had it made. We had you pick it up while you were AFK. And so now we're at the enchanting stage, and you have to go negotiate price.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll have to go. You'll have to go to the mages collegium, the Collegium Magica, there in the city of Greyhawk. And first of all, you'll have to see if there's a magic user willing to risk losing a point of Constitution for your armor. What type of armor was it?
It was plate.
It was plate, and you wanted.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
For the paladin, of course it's plate.
Yes, sir.
Of course, and you wanted enchanted up to +3, correct?
Yes. Correct.
All right. So plate mail, enchanted to +3.
Is the same guy that did mine in?
No, they don't have just one guy who enchants things. That's just on a case by basis. So let's see. Do they have a magic user? And we'll modify for your charisma since you're lawful good and asking nice and so on.
17 charisma, if that helps anything.
17. It will. Well, I believe your modifier is 25%. Yes.
You filled out form TIW 24A, submitted it in triplicate.
Do you want to roll the percentile dice and add your charisma bonus, or would you like me to?
Oh, go ahead. Since you already got them.
Okay. Okay, so your charisma is 17, correct?
Yep.
All right, and that gives you a 30% reaction bonus.
I believe that's what I wrote down.
Let's just double check. Charisma, 17, Reaction adjustment 30%. So
30%. Yeah.
yes, the Collegium Magica is willing to willing to enchant you some magical plate mail. It's not going to be inexpensive, my lord. Of course, you're asking for a mighty item of power. You see, you are asking for magical plate mail. So let's see now. I'm all in the wrong place here. Hang on a second, guys.
He's doing that. I'll get TK to keep teaching me Dwarvish.
One word at a time. We'll get to the cognates in probably a year, but we can at least get you a basic alphabetical thing to where you can, or at least a basic word thing to where you can point and you'll be like an angry toddler. Jar, mug, plate, dog.
Ale.
Yeah, and eventually you'll learn whole sentences, but for now that's probably about all you've got.
No. The most important phrase you can remember is, I see your point, and I would like to surrender to you as long as you'll treat me well. And in Dwarven, that is pronounced Barak Kazad, Kazad I Menu. So just yell that if you're ever in a crisis situation. And all right, let's see. So plate 3.
Wheat, Grana, wheat, nitty bomb.
That's not the hell. All right. Okay, so a suit of human-sized plate. Because you're lawful good, because you make a good case for it, they would like 10,850 gold.
Whew, okay, that's can we come down on that a little bit?
No, that is us coming down on it.
That is coming down on it? Okay.
That is coming down on it.
Well, as I said, we have a bit in party funds yet. So what do you think? Do you think we can afford to... I mean, we've got 8K in party funds.
Well, that's going to just about wipe it out. I think maybe we should see if we can make some more money.
Well, let's put it this way. You've got 3K, you said?
Yeah.
Well, if you've got 3K and we've got 8K, well, then why don't we give you 7? You cash out your 3. And it'd be better for you to be alive so that we can make more money.
Okay. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. I'm okay either way.
I think it'd be a good idea personally. I mean, if we don't want to wipe out the party funds entirely, I'm willing to hand you the cash.
The other members of the party got to have a little say in that, I would think.
Yeah, what do you think?
Hardly any of it's mine anyways. I mean,
Well, I'm back at the end searching for rumors and whatnot, and I trust you to make the appropriate decision that Turgo shall approve of.
You spent what? We thought it was the appropriate decision you'd approve of.
I mean, that's exactly what I'm recommending we do. Yes.
Okay.
Well, there's a reason we have a company charge card.
All right, then. Let's do it.
relax, Betty and Wilma. Charge X.
Okay. And do you have the armor you would like to have enchanted, sir?
Yes.
Alrighty. Well, let's see. I need to. So this is going to take about 3 days to manufacture.
Okay.
Chop chop.
All right.
And then a permanency spell must be cast upon it, which is, of course, entailed in the cost of enchanting the item. And the casting of the permanency spell, let's see. Well, the casting of the permanency spell is negligible in terms of length of time. So yes, call it 3 days. Return 3 days hence.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay. So yes, now we can go back to Turgo and say we thought it was the right decision. So do you want to tell? Do you want to tell him that you like that the party bit?
I'll tell him.
I'll tell him it was my idea. It was.
So during the time I've been at the tavern doing my usual ordering drinks, drinking half of them, and dumping the other half on the floor and feigning drunkenness to search for rumors and any other sort of happenstances, do I come across anything, that people might tell a drunk rather than a thief?
You hear a couple of scholarly types arguing over the language of goblins and hobgoblins, and one of them is insisting that Bree Yark is goblin or hobgoblin for we surrender. His friend is not believing it. Does Turgo speak goblin?
Of course he does.
Okay, yeah, it's not.
It's not.
Basically, intruder alert is what it is in polite terms.
Yeah, I'll lean over that group and break out of my drunkenness and explain it actually is a warning. Farewell.
Okay. There is another rumor going around the bar that a powerful group of adventurers has been seen at the height of the winter solstice entering an inn that then vanishes from existence and reappears a day later, and they leave laden with rich magic items.
There was no mention of where that happens.
Sometimes it occurs on a dead-end alley here in the city of Greyhawk where there are no buildings. Sometimes it occurs in the countryside outside the city of Greyhawk.
Okay.
Make of that
Very
what you will.
interesting.
And there's another fellow raving. His shoes are burned and the fringes of his pants are burned, but he doesn't appear to be injured. And he says, "I tell you, there was a great blast of fire from underground. I was standing near a sewer grating. I don't know what happened. I thought I heard voices. I thought I heard the utterance of some strange incantation, and then there was a great jet of flame. Everyone on the street saw it." People are just...
Does he seem drunk?
Yes, very.
Great. Barkeep, give this man your strongest.
Okay. He picks up a bottle. Like when he's bringing it up from behind the counter, it's trailing cobwebs. Blows some dust off of it and says, "I'm going to need to put this in a porcelain cup. It eats metal and glass."
Ah, perfect. I trust a gold piece will be fair.
It's a gold piece for me to uncork the bottle, my lord.
I trust 10 gold pieces will be more your style, however.
He pours about that much into a ceramic cup and slides it to the guy.
All right, I tossed the dude 10 gold pieces.
Okay. He consumes it, and with all the small beer and cider and other things he's had, it immediately fells him. And another thing, I saw that Order of the Phoenix. Hang on. Thump.
All right, I look down at him. I'm going to bend down and then check if he's all right. You know, pat him down a little bit, make sure everything's in order.
You don't have to roll for that. You get 1 copper, 1 silver, 1 electrum, and 1 gold worth of all right.
Oh, dude, it cost you 10.
Yeah, very well.
Yeah, you came out on the losing end of that. The bartender kind of idly notices you stooping over him, but of course you're a thief. Actually, let's see. What's your pickpocket?
70.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't notice you rifling the guy's pocket. He says, if you want him to live, set him up against a post and make sure his head is turned to the right, not to the left, to the right.
Yeah, very well. I've encountered many drunks in my time, some of them in my own adventuring groups, some occasionally myself. His story, have you heard anything about that? The sewer grates spewing fire and such.
Oh, yeah, there was... don't know the reason, but this happened actually north of the wall in one of the higher quarters of Greyhawk. Some think it was a rare explosion of sewer gas. Other thinks that a prankster mage went down there and detonated a spell. Nobody really knows what caused it. A few people were injured. Some windows were broken. That sort of thing.
Well, Outlier just got some new boots. I don't know if you're going to get him to go down the sewers again.
Very well. Thank you.
Well, to be fair, if we go down in the sewers again, I just have to buy a new pair of boots
Well, that's true.
and pants
And
and armor.
And I assume I can infer, being somewhat familiar with the area, kind of where he's talking about, should we wish to go explore that.
You don't really know the sewers that well, but you do know more or less the region, the district of Greyhawk.
All right, I'll prop that guy up against a pillar, the drunkard, and turn his head in such a way he's not going to choke on his own vomit. If he does, I don't really care, but you know.
What am I saying? Of course you don't. Anyway, so yeah, you get him situated for the inevitable ruination of. I mean, his trousers and boots are already damaged. What's going to happen to his tunic is going to be a lot worse, and he's not going to be able to afford a public bath or a replacement tunic.
That's a good.
Yeah, he can hang on the rope or whatever once they stuff him on there.
Yeah. Okay, so
Shoot through metal and glass. What's it going to do to his insides?
well, I mean, that could have been hyperbole. The rest of you have no notable encounters on your way back to the inn, and there's Turgo looking a little dismayed. There's a drunk fellow sitting on the floor, his head leaning off to the right. What do you guys? Yeah, it's about an average night in this inn for you guys.
I'm going to set Turgo down in a quiet corner like a mother talking to her child, and I'm going to go, Turgo.
Yes.
We did it again.
Pardon.
We did it again.
What's that? You got yourself into some trouble.
No. We spent about $7,000 of the party funds.
7,000. I don't know. What in the hell did you spend that on?
Mr. McShiny Butt behind me.
Oh, really?
Yep.
That's some nice armor you have there.
It will be.
It will be in 3 days.
He doesn't have it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, it must be some nice armor that you have there, being that it costs so much. This is precisely why I retain as much monetary wealth to myself as possible.
But, as we always say, and as you have said before, an investment of wealth now may get us more wealth in the future.
That's true.
When worse comes to worse, we strip the armor off his corpse when he's dead.
Well, there you go.
And we can resell it for probably half the price you paid.
Or we just wait for another human about his size to show up.
Or we give it to Darwesh.
Or we wait for another human about his size.
Darwesh, the equivalent of the depleted uranium inserts on an Abrams tank.
Well, I assume that good paladin, as part of his tithe, might tithe some back to the party fund as the opportunity presents itself.
Whatever my cut is on the next thing, it'll just go straight to the party fund.
No, this is how we do it. These are the agreements.
Yep.
What, was that in the small print?
It's in the unspoken print.
Yeah.
But I say, if it was in the small print, we'd have to rewrite the small print probably about every month.
Indeed.
Because of the turnover.
And in all honesty, what you gave 5,700, being that the monk's corpse and his will and testament left us with some to spare.
Yeah, and besides, the monk could want it. It goes to a holy man, and also the paladin's been alive. Quark's been alive with us for well,
I did die once.
Well, yes, but out of everybody, I think that you are like the oldest of the youngest members of the group. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure you will use this armor valiantly, striding into the front of combat,
Absolutely.
throwing caution to the wind and destroying all evil foes.
Just point the way.
Hang out the back for a bit.
And to think, once you reach level 4 or 5 or accumulate several grand, you can do the same thing, Ranger. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Can't wait.
Well, we must find some treasure then,
And we also
mustn't
have
we?
to sit around here with our thumbs up our proverbials so that we,
Now, Vince brings up a point here, and this is where we kind of get to the educational part of the show. He says, I don't know. I thought items like +3 plate would be guarded by a dragon, not something that could be commissioned. If there is anywhere in the world of Greyhawk where it can happen, it is solely within this city, maybe Divers. And the commissioning of the item, it's not an automatic thing. It's not like they just paid the gold and then they're good to go. There's a process during which I, the dungeon master, make certain die rolls, and the whole thing could have gone awry. And they've been like, yeah, that 10,500 you gave us, yeah, it didn't work. Sorry about that. If you want to start paying us again, we can try it again. So it's not an automatic given thing, and this is certainly not like later editions that kind of made it a little bit more, you can stamp them out like Chinese heat sinks for cheap PCs. So rest assured, I do understand where you're coming from, Vince. It's a little it's not quite so cut and dried as it may seem on the other side of the screen. There are certain mechanical things that could go awry in its manufacture. And as I love to say, hey, the game master giveth and the game master taketh away.
Looking over at Cork now, I suppose he's wearing plate already.
Yeah. No, did I? No, did it get? No, that wasn't me. That was somebody else that got eaten up. My shield got eaten. Okay, I still have I still have plate.
Yep.
Just
What?
grungy old sewer smelling plate.
Yeah, because your magic shield got eaten.
Yeah, my magic shield got eaten.
Yeah, you had a +2 shield, so at least this will help.
Yeah, and
I think Darwish has banded, doesn't he? If I'm not mistaken. Maybe we could trade out the paladin's old armor and give it to our other stalwart warrior.
Sure.
I don't know if you have a holy attachment to it or that sort of thing, other religious foolishness.
No, not to the armor. No.
It's going to take me
Not
hours.
that stinky
to
old
fit it
armor,
in.
anyways, eh?
Yeah,
Darwish doesn't mind the smell,
Maybe
trust
the
me.
+3 armor.
I peed in it when I saw the giant the first time. It's
Yeah, Darwish pees regularly. Don't tell him I said that. Darwish, have a drink on me.
I can see Outlier as you're having this conversation doing the measurements for Darwesh and taking and being like, I'm gonna have to shrink those calves by a 1/4 inch. I'm gonna have to take in that ankle. I'm going to have to reshape that. And he's just gonna be thinking about that for probably the next 3 or 4 hours.
Hey, Darwish has calves and ankles, or the armors?
Yeah, he likes those cankles.
Yep.
No. Human size, basically, elves, half elves, and humans. That's just a matter of strap adjustment with armor. When you get to dwarves, halflings, and like gnomish armor, like
Nope.
+3 plate mail for a gnome. Good luck ever finding that, right? Dwarves and halflings depends.
That's why I bought my plate armor, because the chances of me finding it were. Though, to be fair, I guess we could go kill a dragon and find some +5 plate. And if that's dwarven sized, I'd be ecstatic. But hey.
Well, if you guys want to go dragon hunting, there's certainly always the opportunity to do so. But what are you doing in the 3 days waiting?
Oh,
I don't know. Are we searching for flaming sewer fireballs?
Maybe we should go take a look, at least in the general quarter.
While we're here.
might as well.
You owe me a new pair of boots.
But I'm pretty sure you owe us about 7,000 gold.
Hey, and I have about 8,000 I can pay you back with. But if we go in those sewers, you're buying me a new pair of boots.
Yeah, Cork's got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you guys just picking a random sewer grating to pry open and enter?
Well, it said it was
Wherever that area was that.
North District by the wall, wasn't it?
We have the district. We don't have the exact location.
Yeah, I think that the idea would be to kind of explore around and look for any sort of signs of scorching or anything out of the ordinary. I'm sure that most of the streets in that sort of area are pretty dirty and well worn and that kind of thing. Yeah. But you would imagine some fire spewing out of it might blacken some of the surrounding areas or something.
And even then, if the because it's not necessarily stonework, but if you're talking about the mouth to a sewer grate, that can crack from the strain as well, and that would be noticeable, at least by me.
Any melted sewer grates or anything would be
No, nothing nearby.
Look for the cleanest possible sewer grate because it's charred all the feces off it.
So going in that direction, let's see here. Just pull up a map of the old city there. Greyhawk, 675, Deer Valley, Park City, Utah. No, thank you, Google. That's not exactly what I was looking for, but it's not nice to know, I guess.
Does Google Maps do Greyhawk? That would be cool.
There is a golfing community near Naples, Florida, called Greyhawk.
Really?
Really,
That's kind of cool.
I believe there's a Greyhawk in Texas, and obviously there's one in Utah. Bear with me, guys. I'm bringing up my map of the city of Greyhawk here. Okay, so yes, north of the wall there that kind of divides the quarters of the city of Greyhawk, and I'll need to pull that one up as well. City of Greyhawk main map. And of course, you have to pass through a gate. And they, they stop you and ask you what your business is.
Here's our business. I'll pull into my pouch and show them 5 pieces of gold.
All right.
I could do one easier.
Well, he's already offered it, so.
Valid.
Straight to the bar with that guy.
Right. Of course up.
Well met.
You go through the inner gate.
So what district is this?
This is basically the high quarter in the city of Greyhawk. To your immediate left, you've actually got the main building of the Collegium Magica. You've dealt with their agents, but you've never actually been to the building itself. Well, those of you who have studied magic, which I don't think includes any of this group right now, actually.
Nope.
Yeah, you have no magic users amongst you, so but there's the towering edifice of the Collegium Magica off to your left, offices, residences, buildings. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Would you say this is one of the tallest buildings in Greyhawk?
It is amongst the taller ones. Yeah, it's a good 5 stories. So
Yeah,
I'm
I'm just like staring up as we walk by. Like, holy smokes! It's like the biggest building I've ever seen.
Yeah, and it's still like 100 yards away to the north of where you come into the gate. So, what to do, adventurers?
Are there any vendors or street, like people selling stuff on the street?
You do not see any. There are town folk. You see a few scholarly types walking up to the building. It's amazing the difference between the central quarter of Greyhawk and the upper quarter of Greyhawk. The difference in overall cleanliness just being a few yards north of the gate.
Well, I'm pretty sure they said something about it being by the wall, didn't you, Turgo?
Indeed.
So if we stare,
I don't believe that I'm necessarily, dressed as I am, the best to speak with these people regarding whereabouts of such a menace or happenstance.
We'll send Goody Two Shoes to the Cork over.
I think that is the appropriate choice.
But
Plus,
if we steer,
they may recognize my face later.
If we stick close to the wall, though, I mean, we should eventually find some of that scorching or whatever.
Quite possibly. However, maybe one of these people have first-hand knowledge.
So to kind of give you a description of what you're seeing when you come out, of course, to your left, about 100 yards away, past a small neighborhood, you have the towering edifice of the Collegium Magica, but equally impressive on the right is the temple to Hieronius, It's almost as large as, and it may be larger than the Collegium Magica. Between the Collegium Magica and the wall itself is a small neighborhood of 1 and 2 story buildings with a street that runs between them. So you have the temple to your right, on the right hand side of the street that you're standing in, and you have the college, the Collegium Magica, and the neighborhood on your left. Where do you wish to go?
Well, if I may make a recommendation, let's peruse the neighborhood as sewer inspectors.
It's not a bad idea.
If they're rich, they don't want their sewers backed up. And worst comes to worst, we find out something. Best case scenario, we find out something, and they pay us to clean out their sewer.
Fair enough.
Well, you are a motley, common-clad looking group, and I'm assuming none of you are openly carrying weapons, so you suspect that might be a worthy ruse. Of course, Cork, you'd be lying to people.
Not necessarily.
That's only if he speaks.
Yeah.
The eyes of Heronius right over there.
Well, I don't necessarily think he'd be lying. I'm going in here to inspect the sewer.
We are looking.
As am I. Perhaps we should lead the way, outlier. Cork, are you still entertaining being a fighter? Or was that just a death or after-death experience?
No, not right now.
Let's play some cards while they go and do some things.
I could always just go to the temple
You can play for us.
and hang out while you go inspect the sewer, and then I can, you can let me know.
All right, we could do that.
Well, I'm not saying you'd be sinning by inspecting the sewers. I'm just saying, just very false about what you're doing there.
Well, my first thought was to take off my, symbol of Hieronius tabard and all that, but and just go with it.
So is there a some sort of shop at the corner of this neighborhood or something that looks like the type of place that we could pretend some sort of authority to actually search these things?
And I'd like to point out one thing, that if we're in the city of Greyhawk, and which we are, and we are checking out the sewers, which we will be, there's no reason a paladin can't accompany us to check out the sewers. A, we need protection. B, there can be undead down there.
This is true.
And C, who else is going to cure the infection in both of my feet from wading through human sewage?
Better than dwarven sewage. Dwarf.
This is the perfect thing for a paladin. There's no crime here. Come with us. You'll be fine.
Okay. All right. Let's go.
So between the two, Turgo was asking about the location of shops and so on. But perhaps a quarter mile from the gate, as the broad avenue meanders to the northeast, there is a large, it easily could be a few hundred yards across, roughly square open air market area. And this time of day, it is active. But you guys tell me where you're going. Are you going over to the neighborhood? Where are you headed?
I figure we should probably get some information out of one of these guys. One of these vendors.
I think so as well. Who would like to do the talking?
What's the closest vendor to us selling?
Yeah.
Most of the goods here are not durable goods. There's a vendor who sells like short swords and daggers, dirks, that kind of thing. That would need a lot of work before you'd want to spend a week underground using them to defend your life. It's like, well, let me take that fancy handle off and outfit it properly and then sharpen it for a few hours and might have something I could trust my life with. There's a lot of baked goods, a lot of food, a lot of drink, finery, furnishings, that sort of thing.
I'll go up to that knife vendor.
Okay.
I'll go up to the.
Hail, fellow.
Good afternoon, sir. What can I do for you?
Good afternoon. You look like just the type of individual I would like to speak with regarding a present matter that's on my schedule.
Oh, yes, sir. Whatever can I do for you?
These are fine wares, by the way, although it is not your wares that I am interested in. I have been charged by Dalvin Targon to examine the sewers in this area. He's from the Quarter South. I'm sure you've heard of him. He's a well-known merchant.
But of course I have, sir. Every merchant knows of Dalvin Targon. And it's the sewers you say you must inspect, sir? He kind of looks at you curiously.
Indeed. Here there have been some blockages that might have been responsible for a rather unfortunate happenstance some several days ago.
Oh, you mean the blast, sir, that occurred a fortnight ago? Yes.
That would be it.
Yes, it was most upsetting to the entire southwestern quarter of the High District. Yes, most unpleasant, most unsettling. I have sold, if I may be honest with you, sir, a not inconsiderable amount of short swords and poignards. I feel folks are concerned for stepping out to use the garter robe.
Indeed. And to be fair, a man must do what one must do, and we haven't been paid very handsomely for this. However, we were given no leads either. Sometimes these merchants aren't very forthcoming with information that might compromise their business or some such. So I found a man that looks to be an upstanding citizen who might be willing to help one out to speak with, and that is you. Would you be able to tell me where such a thing has occurred?
Well, most of the damage occurred yonder near the inner gate in the Greenwood neighborhood, just there. If you look beyond that hill on the south edge of the Merchant Square here, you'll find a small neighborhood of fairly well-appointed homes and so forth. And just a moment, madam. I'll be right with you. There's a good wife standing there looking over the wares. She's very finely dressed, very pleasant, plump individual, and she, steps aside and waits. At any rate, that is where most of the blast seems to have occurred. There and locations to the northwest.
This is invaluable information, and begging your pardon, madam, what would you recommend as a weapon for one such as myself? Good sir.
Oh, for you, sir? Here, try the heft of this one. And he lays a poignard in your hand. It's it's basically it's a dagger. It's
right.
A narrow bladed dagger, perhaps the length of your forearm. It's neither good nor terrible. You could use this until you didn't want to,
Good sir, your craftsmanship knows no bounds. The balance is impeccable. What would you like for this piece?
Oh, well, sir, it is good that you noticed the craftsmanship. Now, I speak truly. I myself, I choose the leather and the wood and so forth, and the metals. I have the blades made by a smith in far off Verbobank, you see, so they have to come a great distance. A very talented ironmonger yonder. With the scabbard, sir, 2 gold pieces is the asking price.
Very well. I'll give him 10. Thank you for the information and the honesty. I shall not forget you.
Of course, sir. Of course. Thank you very much, sir. Please, I must insist. He takes just the plain calf skin. It's finely made. He takes the plain calf skin scabbard and gives you a very, very well made leather one that's got tooling on it. Couple of dragon designs wrapped around it, that sort of thing. But you also notice that there's no price difference marked on any of it than that one, but it does look nicer. And as it's not a brighter color, you're not immediately going to have to rub dirt all over it so it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb if you're trying to conceal the thing.
I'm probably chucking it in the trash when I get around the corner, but maybe we'll hang on to it.
I mean, it is a standard will do 1d4 damage dagger. There's nothing.
Right. That's not bad to have.
Yeah. A throwdown dagger to leave on somebody. He drew that knife on me.
Can't you see? Can't you see the sign of nobility on it?
Okay. And he immediately, not immediately, but he goes to selling a knife. It wouldn't even qualify as a dagger or a pointer, a knife to this woman. Talking about the, one can never be too careful to defend oneself and that sort of thing. But he's given you more or less the direction. What are the rest of you doing? What is Cork doing here in the in this merchant's area?
So there's no food?
Oh yes, no, there's food.
Oh, okay. I want food. I'm gonna go get a big leg of lamb or something.
Okay.
Mutton.
Yeah, you can get a small joint of fowl. Okay, let's see. Provisions. We will consider this a merchant's meal worth of food, so that'll set you back a silver, and a pint of mead will be 5 silver, so 6 silver pieces.
Alrighty.
Cecil's going straight for those baked goods.
Okay.
They'll kill you just as they did.
So yeah, a couple of coppers for a small loaf of freshly baked bread.
All right, no sweets.
Yeah, there's honey loaves there too that have got sliced almonds baked into it. So that'll
bread. We're going for honey loaves.
Yeah, that's 2 coppers for that now.
Okay.
What's the matter? Someone stole your sweet roll?
Early spring. The honey is still kind of a rare commodity. So it's a couple of coppers for a honey loaf.
Okie dokie.
You get about a football sized honey loaf there. And they didn't spare the honey either. I mean, it is like he wraps it up in parchment and hands it to you, and you can the parchment is completely stuck to it. So
The smallest I can give him is a silver. Does he have change for that?
yes, he does. He does. He counts out 19 copper to you.
All right.
Well, 18 copper. He counts on 18 copper.
Oh, yeah, it was 2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You do see there's at this vendor, and you all kind of notice this. There are signs that say no iron rilks accepted, no bronze Z's accepted. So the tiniest amounts of coin of Greyhawk, I think it's like 200 bronze pieces to 200 iron pieces to a bronze, and then like 100 bronze to a copper or something like that. So they don't. Yeah, they're not taking tiny amounts like that here. How about Outlier? What is he up to?
Sure. Presuming I can find the street that was pointed to, all I really am looking to do is to stop someone, show them my holy symbol. I am a god of craftsmen.
Okay.
I myself am not, but I'm a servant of a god of craftsmen. And it would behoove me to uphold the craft of the city. So I'm here under my own volition to inspect the sewers, as is my divine right, and make sure that I don't know, their basement's not about to collapse under them, and they'll be flooded with sewage, because that would really ruin their day.
There's a couple of well-to-do common folk that listen to you intently, and they express their unending gratitude for your diligence and assistance, and say in many of the side streets and so forth yonder, especially near the wall, which is where the great blast happened, you will find gratings and openings. It's about a quarter mile back in that direction, and he points to the southwest, to the neighborhood that is due south of the Collegium Magica.
Can I find a okay, how can I put this in a child-friendly manner? I need a loo boy.
Not here. Mostly they actually have indoor facilities, garter robes and such here.
Okay,
that would
no errand boys to run chamber pots or anything like that. Any chimney sweeps or anything of that regard.
Nope.
Man, these guys don't use child labor. They're missing out.
These are common folk. Well, let's see. I mean, you might have a random encounter with laborers.
It's valid.
But no, you don't see anyone like that. It is just good common folk here.
Oh well. Nothing like a street kid to give you the world tour, so to speak.
No.
Well, I'll go fetch my party members and
Okay. Well, Cork is stuffing his face. Cecil is stuffing his face.
Yeah, I put half of that away for later.
Okay.
Once that's been in the sewer, you aren't going to want it.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe I can give it to something.
There's this great scene for those of you who are old enough to remember the show Taxi, where Latka, played by the late Andy Kaufman, is startled, and he's standing next to a waste oil drum. He was holding a like a hoagie or a poor boy or a sub, call it what you will. He's startled, and it goes flying in, and he reaches in, and half of it has been soaked with black oil, and goes, "Oh no, it is almost completely ruined," and proceeds to eat the portion that had not, gotten blackened. All right, so yes, and there's Turgo. He walks away from a table that is displaying knives and poignards and daggers and other such stabby implements, and he's holding a dagger with a darn nice looking sheath, or scabbard rather.
I purchased this for you, Cecil.
I was gonna say just give it to the lady. Maybe you could.
I've had my fair share of women.
Oh, that's awesome.
Now I prefer women of the
Guys,
night.
you help your own.
Indeed.
Words.
Let's just say I still haven't figured out the correct elven word for half elf.
I look at him and does he have point? Does
Hey,
Trigo have pointy ears?
Doomsword, please be careful. I don't want wizards to send the Pinkertons to my house to make me stop saying, stop broadcasting those words.
What do they
Oh
want?
yeah, we can't talk about half stuff anymore. Never mind.
What do they want us to call
I'm a
them?
bigot.
Do what
What am I
now?
gonna do with this crappy dagger I already had? Well, I guess I got two.
I'm sorry, what were you saying, TK?
What do they? One thing I did not hear is what they want us to call them now.
I don't. You know what?
You can't
That's
say an elf of mixed heritage.
for those of you who are interested, you can go back and watch the video I did on it. And if you can figure it out, somebody tell me. Actually, you know what? Don't, because that pertains to the D&D that Wizards of the Coast makes, and they don't make the D&D we're playing right now, so I don't care.
It's just content. It's not a rule, you know.
Yeah, I'll find out. All kidding aside, I'll find out for you, TK.
Well,
Just call them all bastards.
I've been wanting to have a conversation about that for some time, but I'll leave it.
Thank you.
No,
Okay.
no, not like I'm against. Wait, I'm in the same boat you are, but it's different.
No, I understand. So about a quarter of a mile, and again, it hugs the neighborhood that has been indicated to you all, kind of hugs the wall. You'd have to cross the eastern grounds of the Collegium, or you could just walk back out to the street and then take a short walk across the sward to the neighborhood proper. Just depends on how you guys want to get there. And audience, let me know if you'd like me to share a map of the city of Greyhawk with you, or of course the players, and I can I can have that for our next session. I'll have that ready. Interesting trivia: Gary himself never drew much more than a general map of the city of Greyhawk, so we've kind of got to go with the best estimates of Jim Ward and Rob Kuntz and sort of amalgams put together. But I found a fairly good one that I follow online. So
Just the wall.
Yeah, let's cross back over the greensward and head over to and have a look. With my ability with my affinity for stonework, etc. Can I find the center of the can I find the one that's over the most violent blast?
You know that would best be detected underground, where most
of course
it's focused. So that will be a seek that out in that area kind of thing.
I just want to get as close as I can from the top before I go down. Remember, Outlier wants to spend as little time down here as possible.
Of course.
If it could be 5 minutes, it'll be 5 minutes.
Okay. So you find yourself after you cross the sward to the south of the Collegium Magica in a very handsomely appointed neighborhood. There are broad lawns between these homes, mostly between these homes. There's a couple closest to the wall that are perhaps only 20 yards separate. They're nice, clean, swept, cobbled streets, so on and etc. And you can see there in the middle of the street, there is a grating. It is a circular iron grid with a circular grid pattern in it in the center of the street.
Well, let's start there. I'll reach down with the crowbar and pull it out.
Okay. All right.
So
There's no more less conspicuous ones out behind some buildings somewhere, maybe?
there's no reason we have to be secret about it.
Yeah.
All right.
Kind of picturing Ghostbusters 2 kind of thing. You know, you guys have all got Con Ed helmets and yellow orange safety vests on. Just act like we're supposed to be doing this.
Ma'am,
Yep.
we're supposed to be here. We don't want this to happen again. We're here to clean up these backup sewers.
Yep.
I don't know about today, but back in the 90s, we used to joke that if you ever wanted a nice desktop PC, the easiest way to get one would be wait till about 11 o'clock at night, drive into an office park area in a suburb in whatever small to medium-sized city you lived in, and walk up to a building with a clipboard in one hand and a rag and a spray bottle in the other, get the attention of the night security people, and just walk in and start cleaning windows till you find an office door that's open, because the easiest way to do a thing is to act like you're supposed to be doing it.
Yep. 100%.
Oh, greetings, Jolly Gaming. Hello, welcome. Okay, so prying open the grating it's, you know what? Go ahead and give me an open doors check. Just
sure. I got a 3. I think I passed, and anything under a 6.
Yeah. Your strength is such. It just you scrape it out of the way, and there's a tunnel straight down. You hear a faint trickling of water.
Turgo, if you'd be so kind.
Indeed. It would be my pleasure.
You're the only person that would say that after you.
Oh, we're doing all right, Jolly. We're playing some AD&D.
One never knows when one must hide. I'll make my way down the opening.
Sure. I'll lower a rope down after you.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, there's rungs set in. You don't actually have to make a climb check. You can.
Oh, that was just so you didn't have to scream if he was eaten.
Right.
I was hoping there was rungs. Thanks for clarifying.
That's fine. So you find yourself in about a 5-foot diameter chamber. There will be enough for you and your friends if you don't mind standing within close proximity of each other. There's that sour smell of a sewer. It's not overwhelming. It's not like, smear some camphor on your upper lip and hope for the best kind of bad smell. But it's, and the tunnel ahead of you looks broad enough you think that two could walk shoulder to shoulder, but you'd be kind of brushing each other constantly, but certainly not more than two. And it stretches away into the darkness ahead of you. Who's coming down next?
I see nothing with infravision.
Oh, with infravision, you've got the daylight pouring in from directly above you, so you'd have to move up. You'd have to move forward a little bit.
As the other
I'll just go ahead and tug on that rope a little to let them know that it's okay to come down, and I'll step into that passage.
Okay.
I'll keep
5 foot.
I'll keep you on the leash as I come down.
Okay.
And that way, we have a silent means of communication. 100 feet of rope, it's great. And B, I'll come down and let my infravision adjust. Is there anything the other way, looking behind us?
No, you are basically at a cul-de-sac.
Interesting. So if this was the part that exploded, interesting. Okay, cool.
Now it is all brickwork. It is all brickwork behind you. It's not collapsed.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to point that out. You are basically at a dead end in the sewer.
Any sign of stress fractures or anything like that?
No, there are not.
2 billion cockroaches crawling all over the inside.
Yeah. They're all singing "Hey Jude" because it's the Beatles.
After Sir Outlier, I'll head down those rungs.
Okay. You are now there. I guess, Cork, you're following down 4th.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're all standing in the space it's a little smaller than that elevated chamber that moves up and down in the dungeons of Greyhawk. There's no music. There's no buttons. There's no light that it shows from everywhere. I'm just giving you a sign.
Height? What's the height of the chamber?
It's about 8 feet over your head.
Okay.
So when you guys get here, if Outlier is going to climb out, you're going to have to boost him up a little bit.
What about that passageway that I stepped into? What's the head height on that?
It's about 8 feet.
Okay.
About 8.
So a good wide open sewer, 2 abreast or whatever. Does this look promising?
There's just a little trickle of water through here too. It's not like, oh, we got to slog through.
Okay.
Well,
shall I proceed?
It's the only way we've got. I got you on 100 feet of rope, so
very well.
You know, 1 pull, everything's fine. 2 pulls, danger. 1 long pull, a bunch of violent shaking, and well, we'll go the other way.
And I trust you not to yank too hard on said rope.
Oh, I'm not going to be the one pulling. It's going to be you.
Well, yeah, just don't pull back, okay?
That's the idea.
And hello to Clark Whitten and Hobby Science. Thanks for dropping in this evening, guys.
We'll be about 20 feet away, and I'll pull.
Okay. So Turgo, you proceed. Are you moving at standard dungeon exploration speed? Which Turgo, you're moving at 120 feet per round, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the normal move. I would like to. Well, I mean, is it pitch black in here basically?
Yes.
Except the light that's filtering in behind. Yeah, I don't suppose I'm not going to try to move silently or hide in shadows or anything like that in here. I'll just move carefully. I would like to take out my 10-foot collapsible pole and prod the ground in front of me to make sure I don't fall in any open things, even though I suspect that I would see them because the water would rush in. But still, one can't be too careful.
All right. Takes a little finagling because you are in a narrow space, but you do get your pole assembled. Stretch Pulaski, tallest pole I ever met in my life. So you get the pole assembled and proceed to move forward, tapping along the hall. 120 feet, friends, Romans, countrymen following him, yes?
Yeah, we'll keep pace. You two, by the way, so hold up. So forgive me. I know Cork is a human. What is the ranger?
He's also human.
Son of a. All right. I need you to do me a favor.
We need torches. What?
Just hold hands and follow me. Because and you can light things. Well, I didn't want my infravision spoiled, frankly. But yeah, we may as well just light a torch and
Kumbaya.
Yeah, because I'd like to keep my infravision, but that's not going to happen.
Hands across Greyhawk.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll keep pace round. I guess keep him about 80 feet ahead. That way, he still has his infravision, and that sound good because that would be what 20 feet for the torch, and then another 60 feet for him. So that way he still has his.
Sounds well correct. Let's do it.
Sorry, that was a question for the DM.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, then yeah, good.
Get my tin box out in a torch and.
So let's see. That's one. So Turgo, you're about 30 feet in front, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Thank you.
All right. You hear one of the smaller openings. You see these periodically, and you assume they must be, pipes that feed in here when garderobes are flushed clear or sinks are emptied or what have you. Larger clay pipes along the wall. And from one of those nearby, You are not at all surprised, considering you're keeping your ears open and your eyes open. Yeah, there's one very close to you on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the right hand side, where you hear a squeaking and a shrieking and a snuffling and so on. You're pretty sure you hear rats.
Oh, rats.
Yes.
Yeah, I imagined. All right, I'll stop. I'll give a little tug on the rope. I mean, once I stop and they're moving, I assume they can see me.
Yeah.
Rats. I'll start to move back a little bit cautiously back into the torchlight.
So you're gonna start moving. What is Outlier going to do?
I'll draw my arming sword and step forward and
Okay.
give a shout and hey, move on, Scoot, get out of here.
Now, for those who are curious, and this is where TK and I derail the entire night's game for 90 minutes arguing about this, but you can use a two-handed sword, a Zweihander, if you will, in a narrow space like this. You just use it as a thrusting weapon.
Thank you for saying that, but this one is not my two-handed sword. Bertha's back home.
That's fine.
This is my arming sword.
That's fine.
Sorry, long sword for those who are playing D&D and don't know the right word.
Okay.
Did you just agree while disagreeing?
Correct, it did. Yes.
That's kind of what I got.
Agreeing. Okay. So that is what Outlier is doing. What is Cecil doing?
He's moving forward, and he's going to pull out a flask of oil, I do believe.
Okay. And finally, what about Cork?
I'm moving forward and drawing my sword.
Okay. Let's go ahead and roll initiative then to see who does what. We'll start. I'll tell you what, Doomsword, you're closest, so you roll initiative first, and then we'll go to Cork and just down the line like that.
All right, very well. Oh, 6.
Nice.
Okay, so you start moving back. Cecil, you're digging through your pack, getting your flask of oil ready. Outlier, you have drawn your weapon. Cork, you have drawn your weapon and started to move forward. Now, two can fight abreast. Turgo, you're basically going to be parallel with Outlier, just to let you guys know. So as you're moving into position, about a dozen giant rats come scurrying out of the clay pipe along the wall, and they are about 30 feet away, and the biggest old sewer grandfather SOB rears up on his back legs and sniffs the air and hisses, and his lieutenants and other horrible rattling creatures begin to bound down the hallway towards you. That's what they spend this round doing. Moving up conveniently into melee range, the lot of them. And as I said, there's 12, so there's some, they've scurried up the wall, they're leaping over each other. They are sub-hit dice creatures, so at least in the case of Outlier, you're going to get your hit dice in number of attacks, so you may do so.
Yeah, and I presume with my minimum damage of like 11, one hit, and yeah. So
yeah.
Can you just do me a favor and let me know their armor class?
Yeah, I believe with giant rats it is 7.
Thanks. Which means if I roll anything other than basically a 1, I'm fine. Nothing below a 9 plus math. So
okay. All right. So you're fighter what? Fighter 4, fighter 5?
Fighter 5.
Fighter 5. Okay, so you slaughter 5 of them effortlessly. Turgo, you may attack.
Okay, I had the pole out. Can I drop that and draw my weapons and attack?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
Grab one of them with that pole really hard?
Yeah, I could, but I don't think that's going to be that great of an idea. Right, so armor class 9 and armor class 7.
The 7 you hit. Roll damage just to see.
Yeah, well, that would be the dagger. And that's 3 points of damage.
Yeah, that's sufficient. You pin it to the top. There are 6 remaining. So end of round, Cork, you've moved up to back them up. Cecil, you've got a flask of oil out now, but the rats are kind of scurrying around right in front. You certainly can throw your flask of oil onto the giant rats. However, this is what I believe in the army they call danger close. So you let me know.
I obviously still have my spear in my other hand, so I just poke one with the spear.
All right, so you'll jab one with a spear. Cork, what weapon is Baron? What weapon is Cork using?
Longsword.
Longsword. Okay. Yeah, if they were person-sized and directly in front of the dwarf, you might be able to get an attack in. As it is, unless any get past them, you're not going to be able to in this round. So let's go ahead and roll initiative, but it is your turn, Baron, please. So roll initiative for the side.
4.
It is an initiative tie. Their disgusting little mouths go first. This is going to be... you know what? We're just gonna kind of go at random. So 1, 2, 3. Let's roll that a little better. 4, 5, 6. It's not a good day to be Turgo. Turgo's getting 6 rat attacks. Turgo, what's your armor class? I don't have the spreadsheet in front of me.
Yeah, that would be 3.
All right. Good Lord, there are 18 hit dice. No, that's rock, not rat. Sorry. 18 hit dice, giant rats. I'm not kidding around.
Yeah, I'll fight a rock in the sewer. We'll just attack his head.
Pass you for 3 to 30 points of damage. Okay, Bill, I take it back. All right, let's see here. Okay, up to 1 minus 1. So you're getting 6 rat attacks, and your armor class, you said, is 3?
Yes, sir.
All right. 1 missed. 2 missed. 1 hit, take 3 points of damage. Vicious little SOB.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Okay. So that was 3, 4, 5. Take another 1 point of damage.
Vermin.
Okay. Counterattacks party, please. And Cecil, that is going to be a number equal to your level.
Hey, Bill.
Yes.
You want to hear something funny?
Did you roll a 1?
I rolled a 1. The one number that could miss. So 4 are dead.
I got a 4.
Okay. Oh, wow. So that actually misses. So there's still 2 left alive. Did you make your other attack, Mobius?
No.
Remember, they are sub 1 hit die
7.
creatures or fighter.
7. I rolled 7 to hit.
Okay. So you're just like frantically trying not to stab
Trying not
Turgo.
to drop the oil.
Yeah, maybe set the oil down and use both hands for the spear. So 4 of them are dead. 2 of them are still alive.
Should I attack these guys?
Yes, you absolutely can.
All right.
I think the question is, should you? And
Yeah. Well, I hit them both this time. I hit -2 and a 2.
Yes, you hit them both. So
On one of them, that's 7 points of damage. On the other one, it's 4.
okay, so you destroy the remaining 2. And they squeak no more.
Squeak, 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 squeaking.
Should take a look at those wounds and clean them before you get sick.
Yeah, there's a little creek of water running down the middle of where you guys are standing. If you want to soak a bandage and clean those wounds up, Turgo.
Yeah, well, of course, I possess a periaptive health.
That's very true.
I mean, I should probably clean them out anyway. Not with sewer water, of course.
Vermin.
you could probably drink that sewer water and be fine.
Yeah, periaptive.
Right.
Gosh, I'm thirsty. Duke, duke, duke. It's
Hey,
rather
you guys should try it. It's great.
COVID-19, what's that?
okay. So, do you get back in your normal formation to continue?
Oh, yes.
Yep.
I presume the rats weren't coming out of a den or something, were they?
They came down a clay pipe. If they have a nest up there, none of you guys can get to it.
Yeah, not gonna bother. Just thought I'd ask.
And debigulates to climb up there. Okay. You continue on. Turgo, you eventually come to a left-hand turn. You notice that the air in that direction is somewhat cooler. And interestingly enough, well, actually, you wouldn't notice that. So yeah, the air on the left-hand side where the tunnel that you're in turns is cooler. You do notice that.
Okay. All right. I'll go ahead and move forward then.
Okay.
Back with the stick prodding blind man walk, basically.
Alrighty.
Cecil looks around like, are all the walls charred and burnt? And
No, they are.
scorched?
They are actually not. They are not.
Weird.
Okay, Cork, you travel. Oh, that's about right. You travel about maybe 100 feet before the tunnel that you're in opens out into just a very large area. It is some kind of underground cistern. You can hear a faint drip of water here and again, and in your infravision, looking out across the surface of it, there is a help me out, guys. 2 rows of pillars side by side, a colonnade, I guess you would call it, that extends across the width or length, depending on what side you're standing on, of this chamber.
Look, an aisle.
I'm sorry?
An aisle.
Fair enough. Looking down out of the tunnel that you're standing in, you see it's a drop of a couple of feet, and there is a ledge that is wide enough you can comfortably stand on at the after the drop off. Also, on this side of the ledge, was actually. Well, no, just disregard that. So there's just the ledge there.
Okay, so you come to the end of the passageway, can see out into the cistern area. Down from the edge of the passageway, there's a ledge, and then the floor or so the ledge is above. The ledge is below the passageway that we're in, and
Yes.
then the bottom of the cistern is below that.
Yeah, the water in the cistern is a little
Right.
below the ledge that you would be standing.
Yeah, and the cistern seems to be full of water or whatever. All right. Well, I'm going to wait. I'm not going to hop down on the ledge, and I'm just going to gather up the rope as the other guys come up behind and discuss it with the party to determine what we should do here.
Well,
Looking at it, keep you tied up to the rope and send you around on the ledge.
I've scanned the area before your torchlight spoiled my dark vision, and everything seems normal. However, there's water there. I don't know how deep.
Yeah.
There are columns on either side, and
Did you see any, like tunnel or anything?
I didn't see anything of the sort. There is a ledge right beneath us.
did you stick the
Pole.
your pole in and see how deep?
I haven't gone down to the ledge at the end of the passageway here. I can, but I haven't determined how high the ledge is above the water.
Well, may as well see. Why not?
Well, perhaps I should tie off a grappling hook to a rope and lower that down.
That works, or I can hold one end. Doesn't matter.
We're going fishing with Turgo as bait.
Yeah.
I'm not hooking it to myself, mind you. Yeah, so assuming we're all here at the end of the passageway, I'll climb down onto the ledge.
Okay.
And get the grappling hook and the rope ready, setting aside the pole,
Is the ledge
and lower
dry?
that into the water.
I'm sorry, what were you asking, BVH?
Is the ledge dry or is it underwater?
No, it's dry. It's damp, but it's not under the water.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll just hold the other end of the rope.
Okay. So you're basically magnet fishing, as it were, just kind of letting the line with a grappling hook go.
Yeah, to try to determine depth.
Okay. It runs about 30 feet, 35 feet.
Wow.
Well, what say you? It's pretty deep.
Stay on that ledge.
Yeah. Nobody said you had to
Yeah.
go swimming.
And does the ledge run all the way around the room?
The ledge runs from the northeast to the southwest. It does not go to the northwest on the other corners.
Right, so there's no way to cross without getting wet.
Not that you can see, unless you can maybe climb along the walls.
Of course. These walls are damp. I'm not sure that my skills are suited to the task. However, I'm willing to try.
You're the
Well,
best man
no.
for the job.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
Also, if you fall in, it's gonna make my day.
Well, do I feel like the rope would hinder, or like a rope tied around my waist would hinder my climbing abilities?
You don't know for sure.
Only if we
Right. Is that a
Tug on
heavy
it.
hemp rope, Outlier?
No. There's a reason you go for silk rope.
Yeah, I mean, right. I've got my own, but what you tied to me is that that's like a silk rope. That's
No,
like
no,
something
that's
nice or
silk rope.
something.
That's
Yeah.
a silk rope.
It's not like a hawse line or anything like that.
You don't hold me.
Man,
hemp cord.
whatever. Yeah. So I don't know how long this thing stretches on past me. Right, like the depth of it.
Correct.
Right. I'll go for it. Give all my money to my family, none to the party, if you allow me to die.
You have a
It's
family?
only a shame that you don't have any family.
No, I don't have a family. It was a joke.
Okay.
All right, I'll walk around the ledge on the right hand side.
It's nice to
Okay.
see somebody hate the sewer as much as I do.
I'll set a stone in my sling, just in case.
Okay.
Just in case we shoot Turgo off the ledge.
Turgo, that's about 50 feet until you come to the wall.
All right. Well, the rope's I think only 100 foot, right? So.
Sadly, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll follow as close as I can. But...
No more fishing.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. All right, I'll creep back to where Outlier is.
Okay.
The rope's not gonna work.
Yeah,
Just cover me.
That's valid. I don't know when we cover you in, but good luck.
I don't know. Throw me the rope if I fall in the water.
That's valid. How long would it take me to just tie a knot to his rope and my rope and just splice them together and get the next?
Just a moment or two.
Merry Christmas, Turgo. Here you go.
All right, very well. Yeah, sure.
If you fall in, at least I can fish you out. That's all I can.
You're right. Just don't drag me off the ball. Whatever.
Here, Turgo, you are on the northeast wall, not the southwest wall, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So, I tell you what, do you want the ignominy of having to roll a climb walls, or would you like me to roll it?
Well, the good news is that it's a 94. Modified by whatever cruelty you want to pass my way for my stupidity. So, have at it. Whatever.
Keep climbing a damp, stony wall. This is par for the course. I mean,
did I tell you that I was born in the sewers? That's part of my background story.
So you get advantage dice here. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and I got proficiencies and feats and all that too.
Okay. Well, no problem. You cling to the wall. You find small crevices and whatnot. You scuttle along. Are you down near the surface of the water so you won't make much of a splash? Or are you higher up so you'll make a big splash?
Well, I would prefer not to climb toward the top. I would rather be lower on the wall, but anywhere in that middle area that looks safest, that's where I want to be, or looks most climbable.
Back at the end, what looks safest, but I digress.
Well, yeah. I'm an idiot. What can I say?
You go about 70 feet, and you have your infravision, of course, so you're able to see there is an opening, a very broad opening that you've come to that is it's near the surface of the water, but there is not a ledge. This opening is about 10 feet in diameter, is a circular passage about 10 feet diameter that extends to the northeast into the darkness.
Okay, so about how far am I above the surface of the water?
You can be as high or as low over the surface as you want.
All right. Well, my assumption is going to be that that's a another sewer tunnel leading out that just has some water over it. So I'm going to try to make the smartest estimation or whatever at getting in there. Kind of climb down and swing into it or whatever I can do.
All right. That's easy enough. You find yourself standing in a 10-foot diameter circular tunnel. Its opening is a few feet above the surface of the cistern behind you. It extends as far as you can see into the darkness. Half a moment.
That's better than whole moment.
Okay.
Maybe.
So some distance in front of you. What is the range of your infravision? It's like 60,
That's 60.
60 feet. Okay. So you swing over, you land. Your feet crunch on the gravel of the material there. Some distance in front of you, you hear this snort.
Oh man!
This sort of guttural and what are you doing?
Was that any sort of language that I understand?
Or does he just need to smoke?
Give me a quick rundown on your languages.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, that's in the gray part of this sheet. So it's
audio in college.
Elvish, gnome, halfling, goblin.
No.
I need glasses. Knoll. Thieves can't.
Nope.
Yeah, I can't read that other stuff. I'm gonna have to take a picture with the cell phone. No.
No, you don't understand that. You just hear this wet sort of squish, squish, squish sound. The smell from that direction is like causing your stomach to flip flop.
Could we say it's awful?
What do you do?
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to back up and drop into the water.
Okay. So you'll back up and drop into. Let's roll initiative, please. What'd you roll?
You want one of them guys to do it or me?
No, I want you to roll it because you're right there.
Yeah, come on. It's worth a shot. 4.
Okay. You turn to. Are you just like jumping in the water like cannonball?
Yeah, well, I would like to do a little bit better than that, but yeah, basically.
Okay.
Hang
on. So you turn to. You're like, oh man, my gear, my potions, all that jazzmatazz. And just as you're about to leap into the water, this yellow grayish lump staggers about 60 feet down the hall. It's got 3 nasty looking tentacles. It moves the tripod of legs, and the front of it is tooth lined mouth.
Oh no!
Nice.
Oh no!
As it's
just
sort of rolling down the hall towards you, the smell just getting worse and worse, and you right into the water.
Right.
It is shrieking in frustration, which I will not attempt to do. That is the best you guys get as far as my impression of that monster goes. So are you staying underwater, or are you surfacing to watch this thing?
I'm swimming back.
Okay. So you're swimming back. You're taking long strokes.
Long, fast strokes.
Long, fast strokes as you're swimming back, and that's when you notice bubbling up around you. Like the water around you is starting to bubble up, and that is where we will leave it for this week.
I told you to cover me.
I am covering you. I'm just waiting to see that
I
thing.
would literally.
They will with a burial shroud. So that's where we leave the group for this week, guys. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you to my players for stopping by this evening. Thank you to everyone. If you haven't already, please click the subscribe button and the bell icon, because believe it or not, my ranting and kvetching about other stuff aside, we actually do have fun around here. This is the most of what we do. We play AD&D every Tuesday night. And we have a lot of fun doing it. Tomorrow night, like I said, I believe Kyle will be back in the house. Thursday night, of course, you don't want to miss that because historian and scholar Paul Stormberg will be here. I'm very excited about that. I'm looking forward to that. Friday night, we'll do some more Dark Tower read through. And then at 9 o'clock, if you liked this kind of playthrough, well, at 9 o'clock on Friday night, we'll be going to the radioactive waste of Gamma World, where they have nice normal monsters like 40-foot long chitinous cyborgs and not things like I've just unleashed on the party. So thank you everyone once again for stopping by tonight. Thank you to my players, to Baron von Headbanger, to TK, Mobius, and Doomsword. Hopefully Mark will be feeling better and can come back next week just in time for Turgo's funeral. But anyway, any closing thoughts, gentlemen?
Is there anything I can fix that grappling hook to? I've been trying to get that thought out.
Well, you had the rope tied around Turgo, so no.
On my end. Yeah.
Oh, on your end. Well, you could tie it to the end of the rope that you're holding.
This is where you actually do yank really hard.
You're a fisherman, Turgo, or Doomsword. You got a pretty good idea of what's going to happen now that's coming, right?
Yeah, I knew there was something down there.
All right. All right. So,
you won't like it in the water.
again, everyone, thank you for being here. Do consider registering for the Great Underground Online Gaming Convention, where you might not be eaten by a sewer monster or water creatures. I can promise you nothing, though. That's up to
you probably will.
But you probably will. So we're going to go ahead and sing you guys a lullaby and close out with Owlbear. Y'all take it easy. Have you seen my owlbear? Here's to all the weirdos everywhere, in the woods and in the air. Have you seen my owlbear? Should I shave off all my hair? Bobs are all around. Some live in tunnels underground. Some are fat, some are rich, some are sleeping in a ditch. Can you ride a crooked horse without a saddle, way off course? Naked as a toad, all the way to Smoky Joe's. Have you seen the little creep driving fast in his little green Jeep? He smells like fish and brandy, but his rotten teeth look dandy. Take me to the show, I don't care if fast or slow. From action flicks to dancing dicks, just take me to the show.